All right, let's talk about sex. It's something we probably all think about quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
privately.
Mm-hmm. Definitely occupies some headspace.
Right. But actually, like, talking about it openly, honestly, that can still feel, well, a bit tricky sometimes.
Super awkward for a lot of people, yeah.
So for this deep dive, we wanted to maybe cut through some of that awkwardness. We've got some quick, actionable tips.
Good stuff. Practical advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How to talk about it better, maybe some ideas for spicing things up that don't involve, a total life overhaul.
Light, simple things.
And we'll tackle a few common myths, too. The goal is really just to offer some useful insights, for anyone listening.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, intimacy is so fundamental, right? But communicating around it, that's a skill, not always intuitive.
Totally.
And research actually shows that couples who can clearly talk about what they like, they tend to be, well, more satisfied. Makes sense.
Okay, so let's jump into that communication piece first. Because it can feel weird. How do you even start?
Yeah, the million-dollar question.
But the sources we looked at really emphasize being direct. Even if it feels a little clunky at first, it works.
Better than silence, usually.
For sure. And two phrases kind of stood out. First, starting positive. I really love when focusing on something you already enjoy.
Oh, that's smart. It sets a really nice tone, doesn't it? Like positive reinforcement.
Exactly. Rather than making someone feel like they're doing something wrong.
Right, less defensive.
And the second one is more exploratory. Would you ever want to try? I like that would you ever part.
Mm-hmm. It's gentle.
Yeah, it feels like an invitation, not a demand. It leaves room for a, maybe not, without pressure.
Absolutely. And the advice to have these chats outside the bedroom, that's key.
Oh, yeah, totally takes the pressure off, right?
Big time. It makes it less immediate, less loaded. It
Yeah.
becomes just a conversation about your relationship.
Yeah, a planned chat, not an in-the-moment critique.
Exactly. Much better setting.
Okay, so what about when things maybe feel a little same old, same old, in a rut?
Happens to everyone, probably.
Yeah. So our sources had three pretty quick ideas. No grand gestures needed. First one, just slow down.
Slow down. Interesting.
Yeah, like dedicate maybe 10 minutes just to foreplay. Apparently it has real scientific benefits for arousal, connection.
These 10 minutes, it's the intentionality, I bet.
That's what it sounds like, prioritizing that buildup.
Yeah, focusing on action, not just the end goal immediately.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Second idea, change of scenery.
Ooh, okay.
The source actually mentioned the kitchen counter, which is kind of specific and maybe a bit bold for some.
Uh-huh, maybe. But the principle holds.
Right. The point is just try a different room or even just a different spot in the room. Break the routine. Apparently, our brains like novelty.
Yeah, new environment, heightened senses. It could definitely shake things up a bit.
For sure. And the third one sounds really interesting, the yes, no, maybe list.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Yeah, so it's basically what it sounds like, a list of activities, and you both mark if it's a yes, a no, or a maybe for you.
It's kind of like a game, but useful.
Totally. Seems like a great low-pressure way to find out what your partner's curious about or what their boundaries are without having to awkwardly guess or ask directly about everything.
And that maybe category is great. Acknowledges that you might be open to something, but maybe not right now, or you need to discuss it more.
Exactly. Opens the door for more conversation. Okay, let's bust some myths, because unrealistic expectations can really mess things up.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Media doesn't always help.
No kidding. So, myth number one, normal couples have sex, like, every single day.
Ugh, that one. So much pressure.
Right. The sources are clear. That's just not reality for most people, and that's absolutely fine. Frequency is all over the map.
It really is.
Yeah.
What works for one couple is totally different for another. Quality over quantity, often.
Totally. Myth two, orgasm is the only goal. The whole point.
Yeah, this sort of pass-fail mentality.
Exactly. And while, sure, orgasms can be great, the sources remind us that intimacy, connection, just feeling close, that's huge too. It's not just about the finish line.
Absolutely. Focusing only on that can actually take away from the sensual experience, the emotional connection. Pleasure isn't just one thing.
Well said. And finally, the idea that spontaneous sex is always better, that planned sex is somehow less authentic.
Right, like it's less romantic if you schedule it.
Yeah. But that's just not true, is it? Sometimes planning it, the anticipation, that can be incredibly hot.
It really can. Anticipation is powerful. And planning actually shows you're prioritizing intimacy, making time for each other. That's attractive in itself.
Good point. It shows consideration. Okay, so wrapping up, what are the big takeaways here?
Well, it seems to boil down to Honesty, really. Being able to talk about things.
Yeah, honest communication seems key. And maybe not taking it all so seriously all the time. A little laughter helps.
Definitely. And ditching the comparisons. Stop worrying about what movies show or what you think everyone else is doing.
Right. Focus on what works for you and your partner.
Exactly. Understand your own desires, communicate them, be open to exploring, and challenge those unrealistic ideas.
So here's a final thought then. If we get bombarded with these idealized versions of sex, where else are we letting unrealistic expectations shape how we feel about our jobs, our bodies, our lives?
That's a really good question, something to chew on.
Worth thinking about,
Oh.
right? Okay, that's our deep dive for today. Until next time, keep exploring.